time of year. Postseason volleyball, the first round of the NCAA tournament, and it's match 2 of the doubleheader here at Maples Pavilion. Utah Valley's in town to take on the number 2 seeded Stanford Cardinal. Hello, everyone. I'm Jenna Becerra alongside Nia Crittenden, and both of these squads are conference champions, but it's a brand new season on the road to the national championship. A quick ace for Utah Valley. Wolverines getting on the board quick.
We talked about this before, but for the Cardinal, we know that this is a team that is so fast. And for them and for Utah Valley to start off this quickly with 2 aces, shocking for this team.
Sammy Blackett getting things started at the service line. Back-to-back aces. Bella Wooden, Olivia Glockner, Evelyn Chisholm, Lonnie Matavo, Avery Page, Olivia Jaffa, the starters for Utah Valley. Cardinal trying to answer here. Free ball opportunity. Taylor Yu. The block. Back-to-back-to-back points for the Wolverines.
Already starting off with some strong points here for Utah Valley. And for the Cardinal, maybe a little bit of nerves, maybe unexpected here as we start this first set off in the NCAA tournament for today.
And there's the answer. Jordan Harvey getting the Cardinal on the board.
Harvey comes back with an answer, high flyer for the Cardinal. Hitting that shot down the line, that is her favorite. She does that very well.
Harvey along with server Spencer Fetzler, Julia Blashaw, Lizzie Andrew, Elia Rubin, Erica Sayer, Taylor Yu getting a start. And a big swing there as Utah Valley adds to the tally. Avery Page.
Avery Page, last year she was first team all WAC. She was a WAC freshman of the year. Her father played volleyball, so a player that's coming in and really taking a big swing down the line there.
WAC player of the year this season. Air Jordan comes back at it with the punch.
Harvey back to serve. She's second on the team in service aces, so someone that the Cardinal look to put pressure on the service eve for the other team.
Number 4 in program history for aces per set in her career. That one's in there down the line. The
Utah
Wolverines
Valley
came to play.
Yeah, it's like we were exactly thinking the same thing. It was like this team is playing with a lot of confidence to start. And you would think, you know, obviously a smaller program, this is a huge deal for them to be here today in the tournament. And they are playing like they have been in this space for a long time.
Having that confidence so key. And Elia Rubin with the swing. Wolverines hanging in there. Here's you with the back set. The slide to Andrew. On point.
Lizzie Andrews showing why she's second on the team in kills. Always finding space, even on a ball that maybe, you know, she has to get around there, and you see her turning that cross court and really going for that deep corner. Great shot.
Second in the ACC with a 440 hitting percentage. Serve from Rubin. Free ball for Stanford. You again on the slide. Handled this time. From the back row, Blackett!
That is a great play from Utah Valley, mixing it up, getting their outside in the back row involved in the offense, and she takes a really confident big swing there, gets on that ball quick, and gets around Andrew's hands on the block.
All WAC. First team honoree is Sammy Blackett. That serve will go long. First service error of the evening. Cardinal within 2. Utah Valley hanging on to the lead. ACC champs in the regular season and the WAC champions in the regular season and the tournament. Head to head, there's the slide, shut down.
Big block there from Blashaw. Really takes over that line. You see her getting all the way out, a good read, hand straight over and solid. Smart block there from the Cardinal.
Coco Kirsch with the serve. Cross court to Blackett. Dig from Rubin. Here's Blashaw into the net.
Just a little too early there on that tip. I saw where she was going for. She wanted to put that in area 4, really short on the side of the take there on the other side of the net, but just misses.
7 serving 5 here with Matavao at the line. That's off the block, gets the touch, gets the point.
Utah Valley really pushing points, and they are playing just as fast as Stanford. And we've seen throughout the season that teams have really struggled with the pace that the Cardinal have been able to set in most matches. But in this one, Utah Valley doing the same thing that Stanford usually does, which is putting their foot on the gas very early, and it gets other teams discombobulated. It's very interesting that we're seeing that flipped right now at the start of the set.
The confidence that Utah Valley has brought into this match on the road. This is a Maples Pavilion under Kevin Hambley. Stanford's 113-14 overall. It has been a fortress. The Wolverines not phased. Here's Blashoff. Blackett again. Right into the wall.
A solid block there for the Cardinal. Blackett going up, really trying to find some space there, trying to take that sharp swing. She turns that down the line, but a great line block.
Taylor, you know it. Opens up her time at the line with an ace.
Taylor Yu with an ace that Stanford really needed right here to turn the tide. And we've seen in moments and in matches when they've done this, been down by a couple of points and they start to slowly chip away at another team's lead. And once again, you see it with the block there from Sayer.
Erica Sayer getting some air. Stanford back within 1. There's Blackett. Yu over to Blashoff. Gets it. Blashoff, blast off. Her first kill of the night. Tied up at 9.
A huge swing for her. And the Cardinal already back in it.
Was a 4-0 scoring run that just ended with Taylor Yu at the service line. Of note that Logan Parks, the freshman who's been getting most of the time at the setter position this season, is not dressed out. She's been working through some injuries, but Taylor Yu been someone that's come in and been effective.
We talked at different points in the last month of the season, some of those changes when Parks did go out. We've seen Yu come in, we've seen Tusher come in, and the team has really had to work to get used to their other setters coming in and running the offense. And so in some matches, maybe that was the start of this, just really adjusting to someone else. And, you know, we saw Parks last week, but a new change for this matchup today.
Utah Valley adds another one to the tally. Here's Blashoff. That goes long. 3-point lead here early on for the Wolverines.
Number 11, it's Evelyn Chisholm. She played high school with Jordan Harvey, but a big block there for Utah Valley, and Blackett there getting all the way out. Huge aggressive block from her.
13 serving 9. Harvey with the set over to Blashoff, blocked.
A good touch on the block, but unfortunately it turns into a net violation. But they'll accept that. Utah Valley so aggressive on the blocking right now. They're doing a really, really good job being solid. And that points to the way that they've scouted this Cardinal team, that they're in the right spots at the right times. And even if not every block is a stuff block, it's not what's always the most important in volleyball. It's still good to get touches and make the team have to continue to play on their side.
Another service error. Second for the Cardinal. 4-point lead for Utah Valley. Back-to-back service errors. Cardinal back within 3. You mentioned the familiarity between these two squads. Head coach Sam Atoa leading the way for now his 27th season at Utah Valley. That's why down the line gives Stanford the point. So Kevin Hamley in his 9th season here, both BYU alums. Know each other very well. Both said they were very excited to be going up against each other in the NCAA tournament. Right into the wall. Jordan Harvey and Lizzie Andrew. What a pair.
And that is a big block and solid. Even with Andrew not even getting all the way out, Harvey took that one and was able to clamp on that ball.
Spencer Etzler with the serve, the freshman. Tooling the block there.
That ball hitting the block but landing out. A great swing as that comes over towards our table. So for the Cardinal and for Utah Valley leading in this first set.
First round of the NCAA tournament, Utah Valley with the 2-point lead over the number 2 seeded Stanford. 15-13 in favor of the Wolverines early in this one here at Maples Pavilion. The WAC Player of the Year, Avery Page, leading the way with a pair of kills. There's you with the short set to Andrew. Over Rubin this time, she's blocked. Wolverines with the point out of the break.
What a big block there. Olivia Jaffa in the middle, 6'3", just going up, and both of them absolutely closed together on that play.
Jaffa all WAC second team this year. That one will go out. The Cardinal back within 2, Jordan Harvey at the line. The ace! We talked about Jordan Harvey, 4th in ace per set in her career and program history, adding to the tally.
Second on the team in service aces behind Elia Rubin.
From the middle.
So Utah Valley still maintaining this lead right now against the Cardinal. And really right now, both teams playing pretty good volleyball. Not too many errors. We've had a couple service errors back-to-back in the last set toward the end, but besides a couple of errors here and there, both teams, it's been very clean in this matchup so far.
Service error from Natalie Riggs. 4 on the night for Utah Valley. It's Elia Rubin's turn. She was at the line for the upset over Pitt in the regular season ACC, and that one's gonna go long.
And both teams here, we're seeing trying to push it a lot more on the serve receive because they are both really trying to go at each other on the offense. So a few more service errors, but that one lands in for the ace for Page.
3 aces for Utah Valley, and we'll get the timeout. They still lead by 3 over Stanford. They're shaking things up here at Maples Pavilion. Set number 1. Already a ton of action. Utah Valley doing a nice job of holding this Stanford offense. They're out hitting Stanford. They got 143. Stanford in the negative right now. One of the strongest teams in the country. Stanford was ranked number 5 nationally for 2 months straight. And they finished as co-champions of the ACC alongside the Pitt Panthers, who earned one of the number 1 seeds in the NCAA tournament. But Utah Valley, on the flip side, winning the regular season championship as well as the tournament championship in the WAC. It's their final season in the WAC. They will be moving on to the Big West as an athletic department starting next year.
And this moment for Utah Valley is so big also because of that, having a chance to play in the NCAA tournament and show what their program is becoming and has become to this point and the work that they've put in this season. So it's an interesting matchup with both of these teams where we know for the Cardinal they're expected to go very far in the tournament this year, and you have them against a team that is a smaller school, is a program that is building and trying to get to the next level here. And so both of those teams fighting for that on each side.
Blashoff. Blashoff again. The wall goes up. The block has been on point. One of the best blocking teams in the nation, Utah Valley.
And the Wolverines continuing to push Stanford into hitting negative. It's something that we haven't seen very often this season with the Cardinal. I almost think maybe for some of the pin hitters right now, really trying to make something happen and maybe not expecting this solid block in front of them from Utah Valley. I'm used to seeing Blashoff and Rubin especially do a very good job of hitting high off the hands, and right now, a little bit more in the mode of trying to kill the ball. And I always remember during my time playing when coaches would talk to me about that, where it's like, hey, I know you want to get a kill, but let's take a step back and take a look at what's in front of us. As we see that huge swing there from Blackett, and she has such a fast arm and an approach. Look how quickly she gets on the ball here and finds that space between the block.
Her second kill tonight. A couple of aces and assists, a dig, a block, a little bit of everything so far early in this one. Here's Sayer. Miscommunication, and the point goes to the Cardinal.
Utah Valley getting very close here. 21-18 on the Cardinal. But this team, you can see on their faces, very determined in this matchup.
Serve from Taylor Yu goes wide. Utah Valley back up by 4.
I know I mentioned earlier that it seems like the matchup, at least in the first set, was pretty even and pretty clean. But in the earlier part of this set, I should say. But I think here in the last 10 points or so, seeing a few more errors than we were expecting. The Cardinal coming back around with that kill from Sayer.
Stanford slide for the side out for the Cardinal. Julia Blashoff at the service line. Overpass. Miscommunication again.
Another tough error for Utah Valley. 2 really unfortunate unforced errors due to miscommunication and the ball just kind of landing in the middle of everyone. And that one, that's a tough one, especially considering that overpass and the hit was something that they could have recovered.
Over to Blackett, tools the block.
Doesn't matter to Blackett, she goes up and scores a point going in, and I like that approach there. She takes a step inside, like she's gonna hit cross court, and turns that ball off of the outside hand down the line off of Jordan Harvey.
Second on the team, just over 3 kills per set on average this season, already got 3 tonight. The net punched over. There's Rubin firing back.
Off the top of her head there in the back row. Is not expecting that one. She actually tried to duck out of the way from that swing from Rubin, but it just bounces off the top. But she's okay. Takes that with a smile. Everyone in volleyball gets hit in the head or the face at least once.
Short set, straight down.
Finding space on the floor there. Bella Wooden, the 6'3" middle blocker, as she goes back now to serve. And they have set point here in the first set against the Cardinal.
And they'll take the first set on the ace. What a performance from Sammy Blackett and company. They take set number 1, 25-21 here at Maples Pavilion. Wolverines are on a roll as we head to set number 2 in just a minute. First set is in the books. The Stanford Cardinal hosting Utah Valley. The Wolverines take set number 1, 25-21, and it didn't disappoint. The Wolverines out-hitting the Cardinal 278 to .077.
Something that we really haven't seen super often this season with the Cardinal, unless it's been a top 5 to top 10 matchup for them. And I talked about it earlier. If you've been watching the Cardinal this season, you know how quick this team is, and you know how fast they are usually able to put away matches, and especially against teams that they are ranked higher than. So to see Utah Valley come out, we said it already, it's a program that is in building mode, newer to seeing them in the NCAA tournament in this way, and this team started off this match so fast and playing with so much confidence against the Cardinal.
Third appearance in the NCAA tournament for the Wolverines. The service error will give Utah Valley the first point in the set once again.
I talked about those errors in the early part of the first set, both teams trading points back and forth, but as we got toward the middle and the end, we started to see a few more of those unforced errors from the Cardinal side.
Harvey with the setup. Blashaw pushes it. Cross court. In there. Avery Page doing what the WAC Player of the Year does.
Then it seems a little bit like the Cardinals seem out of rhythm right now. They almost seem out of sync. They're leaving the block open a lot more than I've really seen them do most of the season, and having some tough moments and tough plays, trying to recover the ball.
Back-to-back attempts from Blashaw. Cardinal just long. Wolverines will win the point. 3-0 scoring run here in the second set.
One thing I will say is, although it's looking a little bit shaky for the Cardinal, this is a team that knows how to come back, even when being down and being in a tough moment.
Blashaw off the block. Dump! Beautifully executed.
Utah Valley is really playing just textbook volleyball right now. We saw some of that in the last set, moving the ball around, keeping the Cardinal on their toes.
Service error will give Stanford its first point of the set. Bit of a break for the Cardinal. Blashaw will make her way to the line.
A much needed break there for the Cardinal.
Stanford hitting in the negative right now in this set. There's Page. Back to Harvey with some authority.
That's her way of getting her team hyped up. You can see her saying, let's go, let's get back in this. And that is her favorite shot, turning that ball down the line and hitting straight down with a lot of force.
Dig by you. Over to Harvey again. Off the block. Wolverines survive. Here's Rubin. Huge dig. Jousted the net. Back set to Harvey. Gonna fall in.
Smart shot there from Harvey. She sees the hands in front of her. Maybe feels like she doesn't have the shot that she wanted to take on that swing. But using the top of the hands there on that tip and finding the floor. We're seeing some of that energy come back from the Cardinal here.
Match high 5 kills for Jordan Harvey. Here's Page. That's going to go wide. We're tied up at 4.
So the Cardinal trying to make their way back in. Now hitting 111, so out of the negatives here in the last couple of points.
Page, straight down. We'll take a page out of Avery's book. That's her 4th kill.
A big swing there for Avery Page. 6'1" outside hitter, the senior, also from Utah.
Natalie Riggs with the serve. You with the short set to Sayer. Gets it done. tied up once more.
Trying to get Sayer going here. Now we have Andrew back in the middle.
Stanford's middles have been huge contributors offensively as well. Sayer third in the ACC, 383, and another one. Stanford taking the lead.
Great serve there from Etzler, finding that back line on the serve. Another one.
Back-to-back aces for Spencer Etzler.
The libero pushing some points right now on the serve receive, and much needed for the Cardinal.
Spencer Etzler made the first team all ACC as well as the freshman team this year. On the slide. Slides right in.
Big swing there. Olivia Jaffa, the 6'3" middle blocker from Morgan, Utah.
Page at the line. You to Harvey. What an angle.
The way Harvey gets on that ball sometimes when it's on the line. We'll take another look at that. I mean, that ball is straight down. No one is defending that. And it's outside. She turns it outside of her body and outside down the line.
There's Blackett off the block. You with the setup to Rubin. Huge dig. You with the back set. Andrew tries the slide. A little bit mistimed.
A tough play there. And actually a really smart tip there to take Rubin out of the offense. She has to run in and grab that ball. So you not able to get that ball back to her. Trying to set that ball back to Andrew as fast as she can, but just a little too low for the 6'5" middle blocker as she goes around.
Slide again, but handled. Blackett with the roll shot. Rubin. Blocked!
That's a tough block there, right in front of Rubin. And even for 6'3" Bella Wooden, she gets so high in the air. You can see where her hands are on that block. And the Wolverines have done a very good job of staying together. Another block. I was just talking about that. And how aggressive they're being on the block and how dominant they are. And really just in the right spots.
Bella Wooden, one of the nation's leading blockers. She came in with 167, 21 of those solo blocks. That goes long. Double digits for the Wolverines. Their rhythm continues. Hitting 273 in this set. Stanford back in the negative. Matavao. We'll reset. On the slide for Andrew. Gets the kill.
Good swing there for Andrew. And you see that connection with her and her setter, Taylor Yu trying to get her going here, getting her that ball back. And even if it doesn't turn into a kill, even if the hit maybe isn't great, you can see her going back to continue instilling that confidence in her in their connection.
Just long. Rubin, the all-time aces leader in program history in the rally scoring era, with the service error. 6 apiece for both squads tonight.
We're actually even on the aces as well. So 6 errors for both teams and 4 aces for both.
Make it 7 for Utah Valley. Evelyn Chisholm into the net.
Chisholm played high school volleyball with Jordan Harvey. So a connection here on the floor between these two on either side of the net.
Played at Bountiful High School. They made it to the semis, all the way to 3rd place. Erica Sayer rejects it.
Much needed momentum shift here for Stanford. Big block and a good read from Sayer in that play.
Coco Kirsch at the line for the Cardinal. Blackett. Rubin. Blashoff. Here's Blackett again. Goes wide. Cardinal taking the lead.
Coco Kirsch going back to serve. She is someone that has a serve. She's able to push points and push aces in some matches, but puts a lot of pressure on the serve receive. Comes in as a serving specialist for the Cardinal.
You with the dunk. Handled. Blackett with the roll shot. Slide for Sayer. Gets it done.
You could see the determination on her face. She wanted that one. You setting her up. She went after it, and I could see where she was going with that. Off the hands, down the line. A really smart shot in that last play.
It's a Stanford team coming off of an ACC co-championship clinching match against Louisville on the road. 5-set victory. Logan Parks had a double-double, her 4th this season, and another kill in the backcourt. Stanford up by 3, their largest lead.
So a big kill there for Blashoff right off the top of the hands. I talked about that earlier where I hadn't really seen that swing from her yet. It's something that she's so good at. So seeing that kind of come back around, that play.
Blackett. Huge dig from Rubin. Blashoff. That's going to go wide. Cardinal are the first to 15. They lead by 4 here in the second set. Stanford trying to punch back. Cardinal leading the Wolverines 15-11 in the second set. It's been a tough one when it comes to the hitting percentage column. Wolverines with 135, Stanford under 100 on the match so far tonight, but the blocks have been there as well. Utah Valley with 8, Stanford with 5.
Both teams challenging each other on the block. I've talked about that with the Wolverines so far in this matchup, how good they have been on the block and how solid. But the Cardinals, same thing. Getting hands on these swings, these big swings from Utah Valley, as we see another big one from Sayer.
And that energy that you're picking up from the freshmen. A lot of young talent on this Stanford team. She's been an impact since day one.
So Coco Kirsch still serving here. I talked about her before the timeout break and how she does a great job being steady and pushing points when she's on the service line.
7-0 scoring run for Stanford comes to an end. Blackett will head back to the service line. Blashoff, dug up by Matava. Page floats it in.
Great choice there for Paige. We've seen her take some big swings earlier on in this game. But has that block in front of her, an aggressive push tip through the hands that's to land on the floor.
Paige has surpassed 300 kills in this one. Oh, add another one to the tally right there.
Another block there as that ball is passed too close to the net. You trying to make something happen, but a good read there from Paige, staying in on the setter and seeing that that ball was getting close.
Blackett goes long. Stanford increases the lead to 3 points. What an ACC run that they've had this season. 7 athletes making all ACC honors, and then Coach of the Year. First since being in the ACC for Kevin Hambley. Harvey, straight down.
Another one for Harvey. I mean, let's just take a look at this. Let's see where that ball is landing. Oh, that one out on the line, but she hits that ball. The way she's able to get on top of it, it's just so hard to defend unless the libero is standing at the 10-foot line and ready to take that ball on the chest.
Match high 7 kills for Jordan Harvey. Stanford hitting under 100 in this match, but Harvey 778.
7 kills and no errors for Harvey.
Over to Harvey again. Pushes, but goes wide.
Well, I think I just jinxed that one. I feel like we always say that. We make a comment and then we always have the jinx. But usually it's for the serves, not so much for hitting.
Commentator's curse. It's a thing. Bella Wooden now at the line. Back set to Sayer. Cross court to Page. Runs into a wall. Once again. Rejected. Here's Page again. Perfectly placed.
What a smart shot from Paige. I talked earlier about that push tip through the hands, but she's a player that I like to say has a lot of tools on the tool belt and in the tool belt that she can move the ball around. That was a great read from her to see that she had that solid block in front of her and find space on the floor with a roll shot.
Blashoff, the tip. That'll work. That's her 4th kill tonight.
Smart play there from Blashoff. She's someone who's really taken off in the last month of conference play, become a staple as one of the pin hitters for the Cardinal.
Tip. Just out of bounds, and the Cardinal will get the point. Blashoff, a redshirt sophomore, has been injured quite a bit, but making a huge impact this year. Stanford up 20-16 here in the second set over Utah Valley. Well, we got the wave going here in Maples Pavilion, and it has ebbed and flowed so far in this match. The first set, Utah Valley took it 25-21. Here in the second set, Stanford leads 20-16.
The Cardinal, with Coco Kirsch leading on the serve, went on a 7-0 scoring run in this set so far, and they've had some moments of coming back. Seen both teams adjusting here, but another big swing from Paige. We just talked about that. We talked about her, what she brings to the Wolverines before we went to that last time out.
Paige tied for a match high with 7 kills alongside Jordan Harvey. Natalie Riggs to serve. Over to Rubin, off the block. Tools it. Elia Rubin starting to get going, just her 2nd kill tonight.
And a big swing from her, sending that ball all the way to the other side of the court, off to the hands.
Stanford trying to find their rhythm. We talked about how starting setter Logan Parks not dressed out tonight. Taylor Yu in the dump there. Cardinal keep it up. Harvey rejected.
That ball almost close to being her point, but it brushes her shoulder on the way out. I think it was her shoulder or leg. Couldn't fully see from my angle, but it did touch her on the way out. So that point will go to Utah Valley.
He blocks in the back pocket for Avery Page with the service error there. Gives Stanford the 4-point advantage. Stanford coming into this thing 27-4 on the season. All 4 losses are to ranked teams. 18-2 in ACC play. One of those losses to SMU as the block is tooled there. In that SMU matchup, though, Logan Parks also not available. So the Cardinals still trying to find that rhythm. Taylor Yu trying to find her rhythm as well.
We've talked about the difference in the setters that head coach Kevin Hambley has utilized. We've had Logan Tusher come in. She's originally was a beach player that has come in and had to adjust, and we saw her a few weeks ago step in when Parks was out. So this team and the hitters having to adjust to their other setters with you, with Tusher, but as we know, all of their setters are very talented and have figured out ways to adjust and had to adjust quickly coming in.
Elia Rubin with her 3rd kill. And Stanford has the lead still here in the second set, 23-19 over Utah Valley. The Cardinal now hitting 100 on the match. Wolverines 184 on the match. Slightly out-hitting the Cardinal here on their home court.
And both teams, definitely for the Cardinal, and as I talked about earlier, for them, playing a team like Utah Valley that they never see during the regular season. So a lot of hitting errors for this team, but I think I said it earlier, Utah Valley came in and they have so much energy and just a great block that they're showing against the Cardinal. And so for the Cardinal, it's really adjusting, trying not to make as many hitting errors here to continue to keep this lead. For Utah Valley, doing a good job, trying not to have too many errors. We've seen a lot more in this second set. Utah Valley at 10 and the Cardinal at 15. But really some adjustments here for the Cardinal and for Utah Valley.
The block, one of the strongest weapons for Utah Valley. We talked about Wooden and what she's done this season, but Jaffa was 16th in the nation with 1.46 blocks per set coming into this one. And when there's an offense like Stanford's trying to find its rhythm, it's tough to go up against an elite block.
You see the difference here, 10 blocks for the Wolverines to the Cardinals, 5 blocks on the match so far.
Out of the break, Ellie Rubin serving. 23 serving 19. Block it, off the block. Diving is Harvey. That's gonna go wide.
That's a tough ball there from Blashoff. You can see the frustration on her face. A great save from Harvey, diving in to keep that ball alive. Blashoff trying to get that ball to someone to hit. Makes an unforced error.
Yuta Blashoff with the tip. Well read. Changes it up.
So for her, she comes back. She's like, okay, I made that error. Didn't love that, but let me come back and put a point on the board so no one gets upset about the last play.
The adjustment's so key, and it's set point for the Cardinal. Coco Kirsch at the line. Block it. Gets the kill. All-out effort. But the Wolverines still in it.
So the Wolverines trying to stay alive here. Cardinal have game point in this second set.
Cardinal fans on their feet. You to Blashoff, who blasts off and gets it done. Second set goes to the Cardinal. 25-21, we're all tied up at 1 apiece. First round of the NCAA tournament, and it has not disappointed. Third set coming up next. One set apiece here in the first round of the NCAA tournament. On the road to the Women's Volleyball National Championship. Utah Valley took the first one, 25-21. Then they switched places. Stanford took the second set, 25-21. Right after that, both teams right now, they hit under 200 in that last set, and it's been tough going up against some tough blocks.
For Utah Valley, as we talked about, what they're bringing with their block in this matchup, really a top blocking team. They have a couple of players on the Wolverines that are also top blockers, and when you're putting them in front of this team with the Cardinal, we're seeing that play out here with 10 blocks to the Cardinals 5. And so it's been a tough matchup for them, trying to figure out how to adjust, and not only adjust with a block in front of them that has been playing at an elite level, but also adjusting to a change in their starting setter with losing Logan Parks. She's not on the floor today. Having Taylor Yu come in to step in. I talked earlier about the changes with Taylor Yu and with Logan Tusher, and the Cardinals having to adjust on the floor with each setter as they come into play and finding their rhythm.
Taylor Yu, the sophomore out of Temple City, California. And the leaders for both these squads, Jordan Harvey for the Stanford side, 7 kills, hitting .455. She's got an assist, an ace, 2 digs, and a block to her name as well. And then Avery Page, the WAC Player of the Year, 7 kills, hitting 200 with an ace, 3 digs, and 3 blocks so far in this one. The adjustments that we'll likely see here in their third set should be interesting. They have been trading blows so far in this match. This could really set the tone for the rest of this one.
And usually I feel like in some matches I can sort of predict either just by the gameplay that I'm seeing, the unforced errors or no unforced errors that I'm seeing, or even just by a look of determination on the floor. But in this one, this is really a toss-up. Right now, where both of these teams are, this is an even matchup between these two teams. We talked about the determination from Utah Valley and them coming in, and really we saw it from their gameplay. To them, it's not, oh, we're playing Stanford. They're just playing a game in the tournament, and they are determined to win.
Both teams coming off 5-set win. Stanford at Louisville for the regular season finale. Utah Valley over rivals Utah Tech in the championship for the WAC.
Another thing to note for this Utah Valley team is how there are ties already between some of these players. Quite a few of the girls on the floor played for Utah High, the club team out in the state of Utah. You had another few girls play for Club V. So you have girls coming in who either already played together in club volleyball in high school or just have familiarity coming out of the same club system.
Erickson and Riggs, Eastside Juniors as well. A lot of familiarity certainly helps. Free ball opportunity for Stanford. Short set to Sayer. Stanford evens it up with 2.
Getting Sayer going early here in this matchup. Takes a big swing around the block there. It's a great shot for the middle blocker.
Timing a little off there. Here's Sayer, runs right into it. Bella Wooden doing what she does.
We just talked about this block, and I said it earlier as well, that the Wolverines, they just do a really good job of reading on the block and being in the right places and the right spots.
Service error goes long. Cardinal back up by 2. That's double-digit service errors for Utah Valley. There's Julia Blashoff. Top of the tape, point goes to the Cardinal.
Tough unforced error there, but a great serve from Blashoff. Puts a lot of pressure on that ball, and a difficult pass. So Utah Valley trying to get something going in that play there, but that last swing doesn't quite clear the tape.
When I talked to Kevin Handley this week, he talked a lot about one thing at a time, one match at a time, one set at a time. And one swing at a time if you're Jordan Harvey.
Solid cross-court swing there from Harvey. She comes up and finds space. I mean, that's just over the block. Something that she does very well.
3-0 scoring run for the Cardinal. Over to Page.
Great
She'll
swing.
get the kill.
Huge swing for Page there. She comes in, takes a little bit of a slower start to her steps, getting to the ball. Reads it, sees where it's going, and takes that ball to the inside hand of Sayer.
Natalie Riggs to serve. Rubin's off the block. Harvey, same thing. Back row, Blackett. Handled by the Cardinal. Short set to Sayer. Utah Valley survives. Over to Rubin, who puts it away. She's Rubin and groovin'.
I could tell by the speed in which she approached that ball that she was going to take that one home. Look how quickly she gets on that ball and just takes that sharp inside around the block. That's the swing that we're used to seeing from Rubin.
Stanford up by 4. Etzler setting it up for Rubin again. That's going to go wide.
A tough one there. She really wanted that ball, but takes that one a little bit inside as she tries to swing and finding that back corner there.
Rubin, a National Player of the Year semifinalist for the AVCA. Another big swing from her there and another kill. That's her 5th tonight.
Rubin making her way back, trying to push here. Had a couple errors, quite a few errors so far in this matchup. Maybe speaks to Utah Valley's block and the way that they've been able to do a good job of taking away a lot of her favorite shots. But she's someone that we know is very dominant.
Free ball. Over to Blackett. Hits the antenna. Point Stanford.
That error from Blackett. She's had quite a few good swings as she's turned that ball down the line off the hands. Just misses on that and hits the antenna.
Jordan Harvey to serve. Into the net.
That's a tough ball to try to take a swing at. I know Paige wanted to make something happen there, but that ball saved from the setter outside of the court and an out-of-system set. Just a tough play for the Wolverines.
Cardinal leading the Wolverines 9-3 here in the 3rd set. We know that this is a game of momentum. It started with Utah Valley. It shifted to Stanford in the 2nd set. They are trying to maintain control here in the 3rd set. Service error, the 7th for the Cardinal.
Utah Valley really needing that point from the Cardinal. I know we talked about this during the timeout, but Utah Valley started this match very aggressive and very dominant. This set, playing a little bit more discombobulated at moments, have had few more unforced errors back to back here. So lost a little bit of momentum on this side. They're trying to fight their way back in this 3rd set.
Rubin ends the rally. Her 6th kill.
A huge swing there for Rubin. And when she gets on a ball like that, I mean, you just hear the boom when it hits the floor. It reverberates around the gym.
Rubin recently drafted to the San Diego Mojo in the MLV. Pro volleyball in her future, and Lizzie Andrew very much in the present.
Andrew, another big swing for her. 2nd on the team in kills as a middle blocker for the Cardinal, right behind Rubin.
Serve goes long from Rubin.
A lot of service errors on both sides in this matchup so far. That was Stanford's 8th as a team to the Wolverines' 11 service errors here. And still actually so far, no more service aces. They're both stopped and tied at 4 right now.
Andrew off the block. Back set. Finds the floor. Olivia Glockner, the sophomore out of Salt Lake City.
So Utah Valley trying to slowly chip away at this Stanford lead. Glockner, another player that played for Club V.
Over to Blashoff. Nice recovery by Matavao. Pushed over. On the slide from Andrew, finds the back corner.
She's so good at finding that corner cross court, and because she can hit over the block a lot of the time, no one is touching that ball, and so she just finds space. There's no defenders in that spot. If that's open, you want to try to take that every single time you can.
6'5" frame for Lizzie Andrew, just a sophomore, doesn't play like it. Here's Blackett. Over to Blasov. Rolls off the tape. Cardinal now with the 7-point lead.
Another tough swing and air there for the Wolverines. Cardinal really starting to find that momentum that we've seen throughout this season. Once they get on a roll, Coco Kirsch now to serve. We saw her go on a 7-0 scoring run in the last set. The Wooden comes back with a point of her own. So 3 kills there for Bella Wooden, middle blocker for Utah Valley.
Sammy Blackett now at the line. Harvey. Page, perfect angle. 9th kill tonight for Avery Page.
Great swing for Page there. Good out of system set. She goes up. They just go a little too far outside of her on that block. She had a lot of space to take that ball cross court.
Slide. Page again. Sayer, wide.
Looking for the touch on that. Doesn't get it. And that slide attempt from Sayer.
Scoring run for Utah Valley with Blackett at the line. Yu pushes to Blasov. Staying alive, and Sayer taps it down.
Sayer with the hang time in that play, staying in and staying up in the air to get a hand on that slow tip from Page.
You know, Naya, you played for Kevin Hambley during your time collegiately when he was at Illinois. What do you think the conversations were like in between these sets?
You know, one of the things that I've said a lot throughout this season is, you know, in moments, a huge block there for Jordan Harvey. But I could tell from his face, maybe I won't say it on air. I could tell from his face exactly how he was feeling and what he might have said. But I know for him, he expects a very high level. And I know for him, that last set was unacceptable in their hitting percentage and in some of those errors. And I know that the girls on the floor know that too. You can see that in their faces. And you saw the determination from all of them that it's like, hey, we've got to come back. We have to show what we can do. We know how to play. We're seeing that in these last 2 plays. A big block again for Harvey as she stays in straight down the line.
She has shown up all match long. 8 kills, an assist, an ace, 4 digs, 3 blocks. But you're right, Kevin Hambley has the high standards. We talked about this being his 9th season at Stanford. His 400th win overall as a head coach came in that win over Pitt here at Maples Pavilion. But 9 national championships for this program, 2 of them back-to-back in his first 2 seasons with the Cardinal, and he's 3-time Conference Coach of the Year now, twice in the Pac-12, now the ACC this season, and it was their 6th conference championship under his leadership as well. So those standards, as you know, better than most, extremely high.
And it's a reason why the Cardinal are so efficient and why they are so good. We're obviously seeing something a little bit different today in this matchup, but that is what has gotten them to this point. And to be in the tournament and what we've seen them do in the past, it is that discipline and that efficiency. And so you can see it on the floor when they feel like they're not playing up to that standard. And it's not only that a standard that the coaches may hold them to, but you can tell with these players that they hold themselves to that exact same standard. They know what they're capable of, and we've seen that throughout this season.
Stanford known for its postseason runs. In addition to the 9 natties, 23 Final Fours, 17 national championship matches, 141 NCAA wins, only 35 losses compared to that. That all leads the nation in every single one of those categories. Also speaks to seeing the confidence from Utah Valley, how important that has been for them tonight as well.
And as I said earlier, a little more discombobulated and a lot more errors in this set. But the way that they started set 1 is a very different team than what we've seen in this moment, but now coming back with a point there from Wooden. She's been such a bright spot for this team on the offense and on the defense.
Getting the point out of the break. Double digits now for the Wolverines. Wooden at the line. Cross court, flash shot. Page, free ball. Here's Harvey, tools the block.
That ball coming right towards us at the table. Great swing there from Harvey, taking that ball off of the hands. That's something she's so good at doing. You see how she comes in, for those watching at home, and turns that ball, her arm going outside of her body to take that down the line and off the high hands.
The block! Once again.
A major block for the Cardinal. Sayer and Harvey in sync, on time, and closed. Look at that block. So aggressive, right over the net.
Flash off serve. It's going to go out down the line, and the Cardinal now at 19, the largest lead that they have had, up by 9.
The first time that the Cardinal have forced Utah Valley into hitting negative so far in this set, hitting 154. Sub 100 for the match now.
Cardinal hitting 200 in this set. It's going to go long. Cardinal now the first to 20. They lead by 10 points.
Utah Valley, I think, may be looking to possibly challenge that last play. They're calling for that ball to be a touch off of the swing there.
We are going to see that from head coach Sam Atoa, again in his 27th season at Utah Valley. Overall in Division I, 380 wins to 290 losses. Here's the play again. So taking a look at if there was a touch.
We'll have to see maybe if she got a finger from Sayer there in the middle. Hard to tell. Would have been on that left hand, and we can't fully see it from our angle, so we're looking for a finger moving. Oh, she definitely got that touch off the top. It looks a little bit. From the other angle, we could maybe see it a little bit more. She might have been able to get that left hand.
The call on the court is that there was no touch. Do you think there's enough to potentially reverse?
We're watching a movement of her finger there. Do we see it? You kind of see her hand going forward.
Call has been reversed officially.
So
a good challenge from Utah Valley.
A very good challenge. And you could tell after that play that Olivia Jaffa was very confident there was a touch. She most likely heard it during the play. And you could see that, like I said, on that left hand of Sayer. Just a couple of those fingers were moving just a little bit. So that point will go back to Utah Valley.
So what looked like a potential 10-point lead goes down to an 8-point lead with the reverse of that call. Riggs to serve. Erica Sayer coming out with some fire.
Sayer with her 7th kill now in this matchup. Had some moments earlier on in this match trying to get her rhythm with Taylor Yu. But now we're seeing her in the last few points coming back in.
From the back row, Blackett dug up by Etzler. Wolverines trying to stay alive. It's a free ball. Stanford with the point.
They will call a double on that ball going over the net. Unfortunate error there. Not one that you want at this point in the set, with Cardinal up by 10.
Etzler continues at the line. 9 digs so far tonight for her. Over to Page. Handled by Rubin.
Kill for Rubin. Her 7th as well. Etzler now back to serve. She had 2 service aces earlier on in this matchup.
Page with the soft touch. Diving attempt. Harvey off the block. Andrew puts it down.
What a swing from the middle blocker, Andrew. Getting around for that ball. Great play for the Cardinal.
Second in the ACC, hitting .440 coming into this. Sayer fifth, 383. I mean, when you can have middles doing that, you're in business. Andrew off the block again. To Rubin. Page, roll shot. Elia Rubin, rejected.
A great block there from Utah Valley. Olivia Jaffa, I could see the read, and where I saw that set landing, that ball was really inside, and that's one of Rubin's best shots. And you saw Jaffa stop short inside to take that swing and that space away.
Jaffa, 16th in the nation in blocks per set coming into this. There's Blackett. Rubin again finding the floor.
Coming back with that off-speed shot. She said, you took my spot away the last time, so now I'm going to come back, but I'm going to trick you a little bit and hit an off-speed roll shot to the area I wanted to go last time.
Second on the team with 8 kills so far is Elia Rubin. Jordan Harvey at the line. He's got an ace already today. Joust at the net. Goes the Wolverines' way. Jaffa making her presence known.
She has been so good for this team. 5 blocks for her, and she just tallied another.
Still set point for the Cardinal. Matavau, serve. You with the dump, handled. Blackett off the block. You over to Rubin, tries the roll shot, gets it done. Elia Rubin punctuates. Set number 3 goes to the Cardinal. They take it 25-13 over the Wolverines. Stanford leads 2-1 here in the first round of the NCAA tournament. The 4th set coming up next. Sets in the book. Stanford up 2-1 over Utah Valley. Early on, it looked like the Wolverines had control, but Stanford has stepped up the last couple of sets. It has been such a journey so far in this one. Can you walk us through it, Naya?
Well, we saw in that first set, we talked a lot about the confidence that Utah Valley had on the floor. They were determined, and that determination led them to taking the first set off of the Cardinal 25-21. So they came in, and that was a match where they did a lot of things right. The blocking was on point, their offense was on point, and they really showed the Cardinal something different. And it was hard for them in the beginning to adjust to the play that Utah Valley was showing them. When we saw in that second set, the Cardinal came back. That was still an even matchup. Both teams doing really well at some points. They both had fluctuating momentum, some unforced errors, and we saw the difference in both teams had different points of hitting negative, right? And that also speaks to the block that both are showing each other. But then we get to the third set. Utah Valley losing 13-25. The Cardinal doing what they do best and closing out so quickly. And in that one, a little bit different look from Utah Valley. A lot of unforced errors and unfortunate moments that they really could not get any momentum at all in the last set.
Starting things off here in the 4th. Blashaw gets the touch and the point.
Big swing there to start it off for Blashaw. Even for this Utah Valley team, only appeared in the NCAA tournament 3 times. So a big milestone for them to be here today.
It is, and a lot of credit to head coach Sam Toa. Been there since the get-go, and that one, Stanford all over it.
Harvey with a big block there. Taking away that line seam shot.
Taylor Yu with the serve. Just out of reach. Wolverines get on the board here in the fourth.
A point there from Paige. Tries to attack out of the back row. But this team, as we can see, they still continue to fight even in the tough moments. And we spoke a little bit about that credit to their head coach.
He's got 380 wins in the D1 era for Utah Valley to just 290 losses. 27 years he has spent at Utah Valley. That's going to fall in for the Cardinal.
Lashaw will take that point. Coming all the way inside, that out-of-system set, and just tips that one outside of the block. Really smart shot. A good spot to put that ball.
Ottawa, 5-time Conference Coach of the Year, once in the WAC, a couple times in the Great West, and then a couple independently. Utah Valley, one of the schools, the first school ever to go straight from junior college status straight to D1. And they'll get the point right here.
An impressive run for Utah Valley, and they are playing like it. We're seeing the work that has been put into this program to build and try to get them to this point.
Wolverines first Division I back in 2003. This would be, if they could pull this out, their first win in the NCAA tournament in program history. You said it, just their third appearance. Harvey shuts it down.
A huge swing there from the right side. As she comes in quick. And that ball right above the block for her, and she takes that one. Hard cross-court shot.
Stanford up 4-2. Etzler at the line. Mark another one in the ace column for Spencer Etzler. That's her third.
She has been so aggressive on the serve tonight. The libero coming in to push some points of her own.
Just a freshman, first team All-ACC, a stacked ACC when it comes to women's volleyball. What an angle from Paige. That's the kind of response you expect.
Her 11th kill on the night, leading in kills between both teams.
8 digs as well, on the verge of a potential double-double. You over to Harvey, big swing. The point.
That ball almost blocked, but it lands right outside. Seems like maybe a little bit of a mishit. We couldn't really hear the swing on that one, but able to get the point back. So she will go back to serve. An ace. And I was just going to say it before she served. As I said earlier, second on the team in aces. So maybe I didn't jinx it this time because I waited until she actually hit the ball before I spoke about it. And she will add another serve and tally that.
2 tonight so far for the junior. Recovering from the block. Rubin into it. In the back row, Harvey. Just outside.
Harvey trying to go for it on that back row attack, but definitely a scramble play there. She wanted to find maybe that cross-court line.
Paige with the serve. In there in the back corner. The ace, 5th of the night for the Wolverines.
Avery Page, that's her second ace on the night. That was a very good serve. It floated all the way to the back. Looked like it was almost going to be out and then dropped on that back line. It was tough for Rubin to read in that last play. Andrew comes in, puts the team on her back with that slide.
Lindsay Andrew, a beautiful thing with the slip and slide. Cardinal up by 3, Rubin serving. Miscommunication, it's gonna fall.
Utah Valley has had, I think so far, about 3 moments of those where they actually keep the ball alive and they get the ball up, but then no one is ready to go. And it's tough when it's kind of put in a tough spot between 3 players. It's happened to them quite a few times tonight.
Etzler setting it up. Bashov. Punching it over, diving is Harvey. Keeps it up at the net. Stanford, double digits.
That out-of-system set was very, very tight to the net for Bashov, but she gets there and tries to beat the block so they can't get their hands on it, pushing that ball off of the hands and out. So a really smart adjustment on that play.
Cardinal up 10-5 here in the fourth set. 3-0 scoring run for Stanford. Stanford on a 3-0 scoring run before the timeout. They lead 10-5 over Utah Valley here in the fourth set. And so important the tone that you set coming out of a break.
And that timeout was super important for Utah Valley. We have seen the Cardinal where they get to this point, this very pivotal point in a match, especially when they're leading and they're in what they hope would be their last set, that they go on a speed run when they get to this point. And for Utah Valley coming out of that timeout, this is the time now to stop them, to try to get on a run of your own if you want to continue to compete in this matchup.
7 kills for Lizzie Andrews. She's hitting .333. Long serve from Rubin and a bit of a break for the Wolverines.
So Wooden will go back to serve. This is the point where there's some pressure here, but you want to get a good serve in to put some pressure on this serve receive.
On the slide, Andrew. Harvey. Slide again from Andrew. She tools the block. 8 kills tonight for Lizzie Andrew.
A big swing from Andrew on that play. She's hitting over 300 and actually 353 after that 8th kill for her. Someone that is so dominant and so efficient in her hitting percentage.
Helping lead Stanford to hitting 500 in this set right now. Service error from Coco Kirsch.
A rare miss from Kirsch. We saw her take this team on a 7-0 scoring run earlier with her serves. Very aggressive. Getting Utah Valley out of system.
Cardinal, the number 6 overall seed in the NCAA tournament, number 2 seed in the quadrant. Sayer puts it away.
Sayer hits that ball so hard. You can hear the boom in Maples Pavilion. Really going for that slide attack, taking that ball down the line. A great swing from her as we see her developing her connection with Taylor Yu.
The rhythm has been building for the Stanford team. Short set to Sayer once again. Slams it down.
Talked a little bit earlier about how they were a little out of rhythm in the first 2 sets, but in these last 2 sets, Yu is getting her a perfect set, and she is just taking it home.
Blackett runs into a wall. Recovery, free ball. Sayer, back to back to back.
Not a bad read from Utah Valley. They see it there. You have a double block in front of Sayer, but not quite pressed over the net. And she finds space there between the hands. So a big point there from the Cardinal.
A 3-0 scoring run to get Stanford to 15 first. They're up by 8 over Utah Valley, hitting .588, holding the Wolverines to under 100 here in this fourth set. What have the adjustments really been that you've seen, Naya?
The Cardinal have been absolutely dominant, and not only that, it really has come down to who is handling passes better on the serve receive. I talked about that a little bit in the early part of this set, and especially in the third set, that 13-25 point loss for Utah Valley, and a big part of that was those unforced errors. It was those really, really difficult 1 and 2 passes that in turn turned into balls that were set out of system but weren't really great for their hitters. And it's been really tough for them to get their hitters in the right spot to take good swings. That's something that the Cardinal is doing very well in this set, and you see that with the connection with Yu and her hitters, getting them really, really good sets right now and a good ball for them to make something happen.
A balanced attack as well. 2 double-digit killers with Jordan Harvey with 11, Erica Sayer with 10. But Blashaw and Rubin both with 9 apiece, and Andrew right behind with 8. It has really been across the board.
You have almost all of your players. If she were to set each of them one more time in this set, they all will be in double-digit kills. That is huge, and that just shows how they have adjusted as this match has gone on. Obviously, the beginning of the match wasn't the way that they wanted to start the tournament here, but watching them make these adjustments with a setter coming in that they haven't played with much all season.
You know it once again. Another one. Added to the ace call.
A big point here from you as the Cardinal continue to push forward in the lead.
Swing goes long. Cardinal now up by 10.
You see a little bit of that difference here. We talked about the determination and confidence that Utah Valley had to start this match, and so far in this set, we're seeing a little bit more hesitation. We saw each player on the floor take those big swings. A little bit more hesitation on the net right now from the Wolverines.
Page with a huge dig. Blackett. Over to Blashaw with the roll shot. Blackett again. Blashaw towards the middle. We play on. Blashaw into the block. Utah Valley putting up the wall.
Solid block there. Make it 14 blocks for Utah Valley in this matchup. That is massive against a team like Stanford. We know how dominant they are on the offense.
If you look at toe-to-toe, the stats coming into this one, Stanford with the better stats, better numbers compared to Utah Valley, and everything except blocks and blocks per set. Harvey finds it. That'll work. 12 kills.
What a great shot from Harvey. She's found the floor a couple of times in that 2 spot. No one's there. She gets that point.
A couple of digs away from a double-double. Rubin just 1 kill away from a double-double as that service error will give a point back to Utah Valley. 11 service errors apiece for these squads.
A lot of service errors for each team here as they're tied with that. That also can show the aggression that they're trying to put on as Rubin goes up, as I speak about aggression, to take a huge swing inside the block.
You think she heard me? Because that made it a double-double for her. Yet another one. Her 11th on the season.
So 10 kills now for Rubin.
Another one.
Another ace.
My goodness.
Etzler, she has been pushing points almost every time she's gone back to the service line for the libero, for the Cardinal.
4 of the 8 aces. Spencer Etzler. Back row, Blackett. Dug up by you. Harvey finds it. Lucky number 13 kills. Hitting over 400 now.
Harvey has just been on fire, and you talked about earlier for Rubin and Blashaw, started off a little bit out of rhythm in the beginning of this matchup, but Harvey has been consistent this entire time. Very low error match for her.
On the slide. Gets it done. Double digits now for Utah Valley. And we keep talking about the rhythm that's necessary, especially with Taylor Yu running the offense. I mean, this is coming from Logan Parks, who's 3rd in the ACC, 9.99 assists per set coming into this. She also had an ACC high 64 assists against Louisville in that 5-set victory. She's been huge. So to see Stanford figure this out, they're going to need that.
And we're watching those adjustments in real time as they get used to a little bit of a different set also. Parks is someone who usually runs the ball very, very fast, whereas for you, for those watching, leaves a little bit more space, a little bit more hang time on the ball. And so that's something that all of the players and all the pin hitters have had to adjust to.
Harvey been solid since the beginning. She's hitting .440 with 14 kills. 8 digs, 5 blocks. Paige softly changes it up. That's kill number 12.
Paige has been so good with finding the floor on some of these tough shots that she's gotten, especially knowing that she has such a big block in front of her with Harvey and with Andrew. And those tips have been working very well for her.
Free ball opportunity here. Utah Valley runs into Andrew. Over to Ruben. Just long.
Oh, they're going to give that ball and that point to Utah Valley. I will say, I think I heard and saw that touch off the top of the hand, so we'll see what happens on this challenge.
Not surprising to see Kevin Hambley bust out the video review card to see if there was a touch. I want to get the exact numbers on this, but his success rate with video reviews is quite high. It's above average.
Yeah, and I think, too, it also speaks to not only his experience in the game, but also the confidence in his players when they ask for a challenge as well. So we'll take another look at that one, see if she gets the touch off of Wooden, the top of her hands there. And it's something that Ruben and Blashoff do really well. They're so good at getting just like a finger where it makes it so hard to see. And sometimes you'll even review the video and you're like, are we sure there was a touch?
You're right that you can see, and both sides, immediately they'll say, oh, there was a touch, or no, there wasn't. There's an immediate reaction that the coaches definitely have to rely on. Because they have a different, court vision, right? They're in the thick of it.
Definitely. So we'll see from the review what they determine. The other hard part, too, is even sometimes when you know you heard a touch, if it's not in the best spot for the team to review it and see exactly if there was one, you may not always get them. That's always the hard part about those really high hands off the top of the fingers touches.
The call is going to stand. So that commentator's curse that we're talking about, Kevin Hambley with a lot of success, but not this time with the video review.
Yeah, a little bit tough on that one, but for the Cardinal, they will try to reset here as Paige goes back to serve.
Still a 10-point lead for the Cardinal. From the back row, Harvey. Big dig by Matavao. Ruben.
Error there, I think, on Ruben. And she went to swing. Let's see if we see that there. I think she might have touched the net. Yeah. Trying to save that ball. It was very tight to the net, trying to get it over and through the block.
The slide to Andrew. Over to Blackett, off the block. Once again, the slide. That's going to fall in.
Lizzie Andrew making sure her efficiency just stays high. Finding a way to get a kill off of that very tight set. She just tries to save that ball. Still scoring a point.
Ruben with the serve. Over to Blashoff. Stanford survives. Blackett blocks it out.
That's the swing we haven't seen from Blackett since the first, maybe second set. So she comes in with some firepower, taking that ball sharp in that cross-court seam.
She was heating up early. Avery Page leading the way with 12 kills. Blackett second with 7. They're going to need to get her going. But now it's match point for the Cardinal. Naples on their feet.
Match point for the Cardinal as we kick off the NCAA tournament for college volleyball today. Coco Kirsch back to serve.
Blackett. Over to Blashoff. Still in it. There's Kirsch. Blashoff again. There's you on the slide, and that's going to do it. Erica Sayer puts the exclamation point. The Cardinal survive and advance. They get the 4-set victory over Utah Valley to move on to the second round against Arizona here at Maples Pavilion.
An important win for the Cardinal. And this matchup started, both teams battling back. Utah Valley taking the first set off of Stanford. For some, maybe shocking for number 2 Stanford here, but they come back steady, chipping away in this matchup to close out with a victory. Some changes on the floor for the Cardinal today, as we saw. And for Utah Valley, a huge showing for them to come in a 4-set matchup against the Cardinal.
The Cardinal getting better in hit percentage every single set. They will move on to face Arizona, but what a season from Utah Valley this year. They will end it 16-11 overall. The WAC regular season and tournament champions, and their 3rd NCAA appearance. A lot to be proud of for the Wolverines.
Definitely a lot to be proud of, and they played with so much determination, and just speaks to what their head coach has been able to do in building that program. We got to see head coach Kevin Hambley. They had a moment of embrace. We talked about earlier that they have a prior connection in volleyball for both of them, but 2 head coaches with a lot of experience trying to lead their programs in postseason.
2 longtime friends. Their programs got to meet for the first time ever, but the Stanford Cardinal getting the win 3-1 over Utah Valley. They'll face Arizona tomorrow in the second round of the NCAA tournament here at Maples Pavilion at 6 p.m. Pacific. Well, it's been a great one, a great doubleheader here at Maples Pavilion for the first round. On behalf of our entire crew, my partner Nia Crittenden, I'm Jenna Becerra saying so long from Stanford. See you tomorrow for the second round as the road to the national championship continues.